welcome everybody to another edition of the Philly podcast, streaming live on StreamYard.com, presented by CEVSports.com. Tonight we're going to be talking about NBA free agency and some NFL training camp. And of course, as you can see, as always, I'm joined by Chris Lahiff and Pat House. So, gentlemen, how are you?
I'm doing good. Back from vacation. How's everyone doing?
Very nice, very nice.
Taking advantage of the nice night sitting outside doing the podcast out here, so loving it.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah. So, all right. So, who wants to start off first? I mean, I guess we could talk about some NBA free agency.
Yeah, you heard the big
finally
signing, you know. It's actually not a bad move. I know, people are going to question it because it's not Dwight Howard, but Andre Drummond is better than Dwight Howard. Like, let's not get too crazy. Like, Andre Drummond's a bum. I just think it's hilarious how the guy that Embiid gets in his head and he's now his backup.
Yeah,
it's comical to me.
That is funny.
I actually really like the move. I mean, like Chris was saying, he's a better option at this point than Dwight Howard is. We're not getting Detroit Pistons Andre Drummond, but we're still getting a much better player, and we probably have the best backup five in the league at the moment. And with the way we need to spell Embiid for significantly long parts of the game, I mean, it's important to have somebody that could step in there. So, good signing. They got some work they got to do, though.
Yeah, I mean, I felt it was a great signing by them. I mean, it was pretty clear that Dwight Howard was going to be heading back to LA, and I just really felt that it was good. They needed someone like that to back up, and I just found it weird because I was seeing online a bunch of people were complaining, saying that they didn't see a need for the guy, and I think that that's all hate towards the fact that, like Chris said, he gets under the skin of Embiid, but he's not under the skin no more. He's on his team. He's his backup. He's his teammate. So I like the signing. I think it was good. I did. I have no complaints with it. What about you, Chris?
Oh, I'm all about, do whatever you can to build your team better. Like if Andre Drummond is going to be one of the key pieces, Andre Drummond wasn't a missing piece. He wasn't the reason that we quote unquote didn't get to the finals. But I feel like it's a good move. Especially if they're going to keep Simmons, which is looking like. But like they're trying to trade Tobias Harris. Like something's going on over there. I don't know what Morey's doing, but it feels like something's brewing. I don't know what the hell's brewing, to be honest with you. But it's crazy, like all the money that was given out yesterday, and the money that Steph Curry got today. You got 4 years for $214 million, and we still have Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, which I find comical that Tobias Harris was on the trade deadline. So that's pretty amazing that he's not on the trade deadline. But he was on the trading block. I don't know how I feel about that. I gave my thoughts on Tobias Harris. How he wasn't held accountable. He wasn't held accountable enough for the Sixers in their 7-game series versus the Hawks. So maybe that's why they weren't looking to trade him. But something's going on. I don't know what they're looking to do, to be honest with you. It's going to be interesting. There's still a lot of time left. There's still free agents out there. You saw Kyle Lowry go to Miami on a sign and trade for $30 million, 3 years, $90 million, basically, $30 million a year, which is insane. He's not Steph Curry. Kyle Lowry's a good player, but he's not Steph. Well, you know what? You got to look at the contracts as to why it was signed. Like they probably had to spend the money, kind of like when the Sixers signed JJ Redick. I loved the Sixers signing of JJ Redick. It was, they had to spend that money, and JJ Redick turned out to be a good addition. I was hoping we got JJ Redick at the trade deadline this year. I know he's older, he's got knee issues, but I would have loved to see JJ Redick here. But the Kyle Lowry's, like the Kyle Lowry sign and trade was insane. Like, and I think they just gave Jimmy Butler a max deal. So like, what is going on? It must be nice to just throw money around like this. It's insane.
I mean, I think I
ahead.
could take like 5 college classes on the NBA cap and still not understand it. The Lakers always have money to spend. The Heat it's always these big.
Everybody's signing with the Lakers.
Yeah, it's a joke, and they take the mid-level exceptions. They take it's a joke that people want to go and play only strictly in these towns. I think that something has to be done to limit the amount of transactions that teams can do in the offseason like that, because everybody just wants to sign in LA or Miami, and that's just or New York, and I can't tolerate that anymore. Like, it's killing small market teams, and I hate that whole mentality. So the NBA's got to do something to kind of cut that off at the knees, first and foremost. Second thing, Kyle Lowry, what made him a good player was his quickness. He's, I think, as old as I am or older. He shouldn't be getting a 3-year, $90 million deal. It's a bad deal. And I don't think he'll even play well this year, let alone the next 2 years. So Miami just hamstrung themselves with a huge contract. Well, a 3-year contract's a huge contract because it's going to put them in a tight spot being able to sign anybody else when he doesn't work out or when he gets injured. LA, none of their signings. I mean, Malik Monk going there might be the best signing. Carmelo is cooked. He could never play defense. Even when he got out of Syracuse, he couldn't play defense in the NBA. Dwight Howard, we know what he is. Monk shot 40% from behind the stripe last year. And he's been getting better steadily since he came out of Kentucky. So he'll be good this year for LA. That was actually a pretty good signing. But, I like the Drummond deal. I don't understand why we re-signed Korkmaz. I mean, we've been down the Korkmaz road now long enough. We know what the guy can and can't do. I think we probably should have let him walk and spent that money elsewhere. I don't know where else they're going to go. I hope, free agency, I don't know where else they can go. But, go touch on the Tobias Harris thing. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Ben Simmons go. I mean, that's a big contract for a guy who's supposed to be your third best player in your team and who hasn't in the last 2 postseasons really delivered for us consistently. So we kind of know what he is at this point, and I think I've seen enough. If they're able to move on from him and upgrade, let's do it. I'm happy with moving both of them if we can do it.
Well, that would be in a perfect world, in a perfect scenario. I would move on from both of them as well. So I'm not surprised that Tobias Harris was on the trade block. I mean, we all know that they were going to be shopping Ben, but this free agency has been absolutely insane. It was just crazy to watch all these pieces, all these players coming and going and signing where they're signing at for how much. And I mean, like Pat, you said that like Melo, that he's done. He can still get people points off the bench though, and that's what they're looking for. Like they want him to come in off the bench, get some shots. He can still do that, like that, and that's all he can do. He's got nothing left to his game, but as long as he can still, drain a shot, people are going to take him. They will. And Monk was actually very. I like that signing for them. I thought that was a good signing, actually. I mean, considering what it was last year, he was suspended on was it some kind of a drug charges or allegations or something like that. So he had a good comeback. He had a good comeback. And like, am I surprised he went to LA? Absolutely not. But anyway, that's just my thought.
Hold on. Did anyone see Dwight Howard's Instagram post saying goodbye to Philly?
No.
I just saw that. It was like super long, but I didn't get to read it.
Well, he wrote a long thing, and basically, he's like, I'm going to miss my frosty chance with the crowd. To my brothers, this year we came up short, but we had an amazing season. Thank you to the entire 76er staff. We will always be family. And bend your knees. he took a shot at Ben. Like, come on, man.
Did he take a shot? I don't remember. That's just something that they always used to do in their
But
after game workouts. I mean,
it's got to be something that has like an inside joke to them. I don't think he's taking a shot at Ben Simmons. It's an inside joke.
well, I think
every-
it was. I don't think it was a shot. I don't think it was a shot. I think it was like a funny shot. Like I don't think he was intentionally taking a shot. I think he was just like trying to be comical, which is fine.
Well, him and Ben Simmons would always stay after practice together.
Yes.
So, I mean, it was definitely something between them. He would probably tell him, bend your knees all the time. That's why he said it. You know, so he's still trying to be a mentor to the kid, which I appreciate that. But at this point, I think we all pretty much know what Ben Simmons is and what to me, he was just good enough to get max money, and he's happy with that. That's what he's going to be. I don't think he's ever going to get any better. We're not going to see we're not going to see his game change. He's happy where he's at.
I mean, go back to the Korkmaz signing. I know you guys may disagree with it, but it was last camp that they were saying that Isaiah Joe and him were kind of battling for the position. Now he won, but Isaiah Joe, a rookie he drafted in the second round, almost took his job from him. And even when he got his opportunities to play last year, he played as good as Korkmaz did. It's somebody that we have signed for cheap money for the next few years. I would have rather have seen them kind of go in that direction than re-sign that guy. Save that money and put it towards something else.
I don't know who you're going to sign. I mean, it's not like he's getting $15 million. He's getting $5 million over 3 seasons. I don't know who you could have got.
They were looking to bring him back because he can shoot the three. That's what they were looking for. They're looking for. I mean, he's not that great at it. He's got his deficiencies in other areas, but again, it was like that's what he shoots. That's what he can do, and so they brought him back for it. They must like him.
I think Isaiah Joe gives you a better defensive option in there, and he's as good a 3-point shooter as Korkmaz at this point. Guy was a sniper at Arkansas, and you bought him here. You drafted him here as a shooter and to play defense. If you're going to have him give you the option, or if you're going to test him to see if he can be a 3-and-D guy for you, you got to let him play. And I think having Korkmaz here, who can be red hot sometimes, it gets you 25 points, and then other games he completely disappears, can't get a shot off, and can't guard anybody. I think you're kind of stunting growth there. I don't know. It was so close between the two of them last year with Joe as a rookie. I would have liked to have seen them if they were going to even consider bringing Korkmaz back. I would have rather them just kind of see what they had there. I think he gives you the better option.
Well, yeah, that's very possible. I mean, I will.
Somebody's frozen, so I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting in what they're going to do in the next couple days. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm hoping that there's something in the works. Everybody is like worried about the Lakers. I'm not worried about the Lakers. Like
they got old. They got older with these signings.
Yeah.
Like Caruso signed with the Bulls, which is just phenomenal. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Like I'm actually looking forward to seeing what the Eagles can do, or I'm sorry, what the Sixers can do. Sorry. So, but
it'll be interesting to see what they do. Like you said, they have a couple days left to do something. Like all the big free agent guys are gone. Like they're all gone at this point, and they had no money to do anything anyway. I was seeing a bunch of people getting upset on social media saying the Sixers didn't do anything. Well, they have no money to do it. They have to move one of those big contracts, and it's either going to be Ben or Tobias, possibly both. You never know. But I mean, they had no money to do anything, and like you said, you're seeing some of these guys sign for money that is just ridiculous. But that's how the NBA is.
And these teams still having the ability to keep making moves despite there being a $250 million contract on their books. Like I said, it makes no sense. Like if you're in California, you're in New York, or you're in Florida, then the NBA seems like they take care of you. They find a way for it to work.
That is true. That is definitely true.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be an exciting next couple of days, at least for Sixers. Hopefully, some kind of moves made. You got to remember, the Olympics are still going on, so there's still two free agents over. There's still a couple free agents over there. I know Exum's a free agent. There was somebody else, so like there's still moves to be made. You know, we'll see. USA won today, 95-81 over. I think it was Spain. So,
Spain.
but there's still moves to be made. I got a little faith. Morey's just not going to sit back. Like he can't. Like, and in his good mind, he just can't sit back. Like,
well,
he's stupid if he does.
Yeah, I don't think he's been sitting back. I think he's been working the phones and trying to get things done. It's just people aren't biting. I really do. I mean, we heard that there were talks about Ben Simmons. Then it drops that during the draft they were trying to trade Tobias Harris, and that didn't work. So it's really tough. Like, I don't see a trade happening at this point. I really don't. I think the Sixers are going to run back what they had last year, and you're going to have another year of Maxey. He's going to hopefully grow and mature. So I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with them? But I really don't see a trade happening now. Like, probably not even at the deadline. We're probably going to have these two guys or one of them for the for the all next season.
From what I understand, they're saying that that Morey's just been asking for too much, and I don't agree with that. You see, every year in every sport, you see teams making deals where you're like, how the hell did that trade go through? Or how the hell did they make that deal? Like, the team got fleeced. I feel like we never fleece anybody. Like, it's our time to be able to just finally fleece somebody on a deal. So you're saying he's asking for too much. I don't think he's asking for too much. I think he's asking for just enough. And I think, they're going to do a once around with the league, and then he's going to come back to some of the teams, and then they might end up having to settle for something. I'm on the other end of the spectrum, though, Eric. I think that they have to move this guy, because I think the marriage, specifically with him, not so much with Harris, but with him, this marriage is broken. They shopped him all around the place. So his relationship with the team is not good. His relationship with the fans, I think, is even worse. I think the fans feel how I feel. He's a coward. They don't want him in town anymore. So that's broken. Eventually, he's going to just leave when his contract's up, and he can leave. So, sooner than later. And you don't want to run the risk of him getting on the court next year and being worse off than he was this year. I mean, he steadily declined by the end of the year. I mean, he didn't have the foul shooting issues as bad during the season as he did during the playoffs. And in the playoffs, it seemed like game by game, he got worse and worse and worse. It was more in his head. You can't have that going out into the season and then try to trade him next year. You're going to get even less for him. So I think between now and October, they are going to eventually move him. Is it going to be for the price? I hope so. I want something good for him. Like I said, it's our turn to finally fleece somebody on the deal. Christ, we've gotten the crap end of the stick on deals for years. It's time Philly gets a win there. But like I said, they have to, they have to at this point get rid of this guy. You can't bring him back. Harris, I think you can kind of repair things. Hey, this is business. You shop people around. Simmons, I just feel like the whole relationship broke on every end, and there's just no coming back from it. So,
well, that was why I was confused when you heard about them shopping Tobias Harris, because he had a very good season last year, and the best season he had before that was with Doc Rivers. So he's got a good rapport with the head coach. Maybe it's an eye opener. I don't know. Maybe it's to try and shake it up to say, hey, look, we're willing to move this guy as well. But I do agree with everything you're saying about Ben Simmons. Like, it's fractured all the way around. And I just have a funny.
No. That's Wentz's foot. No. I had to throw it in there.
Yeah.
The first.
No. You're absolutely right, Eric. But like, the one thing I will disagree with you on is like why you're shocked that they're shopping Tobias. Tobias has shown up. He's been just as bad in the playoffs as Tobias in certain situations. Like, let's not play that game like it's all been. Like, the Tobias was short last year. He was short the previous season. Like, go looking to see what you can get. If you look, maybe someone would have hit accept by mistake, like an NBA 2K like trade offer. Like, sure, we'll take that. And you're like, and you can't hit accept quick enough on like a fantasy trade. Like, maybe that's what happened. But no, you Pat and Eric, you guys are 100% right. Like the relationship is fractured. I mean, listen, Ben, Eric knows my feelings on Ben. Like he knows how I feel about him. Again, he's still here, so I'm gonna stand up for him, but I'm also gonna rip him. Like, and that's the thing is like, there's too many of our fans, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, who are not happy, but they're glad that the Sixers lost because of Ben Simmons, because they're happy they're right. Like they're ecstatic that they're right. Like not ecstatic, but they're on a "I told you so" phase. I told you so phase, which I don't mind. But when you constantly do it, so you're not really rooting for the Sixers. Then you're just rooting for Ben Simmons to fail and everyone else to do good. When in basketball, you need all 5 players to do good. So, I mean, Pat, you're a coach, you know that. So, yeah, when one player is bad, it affects the rest of the team. Yeah. It's not one player is bad and then 4 players are good.
Basketball's the worst sport to be able to hide somebody. You just can't. You got 5 guys on the court, you can't hide them.
Right. Like Ben Simmons' deficiencies were showed. He didn't make anyone better. And that's the one thing about I'm going to bring up Jordan. Jordan was so good that he made everyone around him better. I could be wrong, and the same with LeBron. We have our different feelings on LeBron, but LeBron makes everyone better. Early in his career, he did what he could, but there was deficiencies with Ben, and unfortunately, it was exposed, and it made the rest of the team look bad. We were like Tobias Harris committed a turnover in the last minute of the game, and that is circled huge because. At the end of the day, it's one of the reasons they lost. If Ben Simmons had a good game or an average game, not even good, if he would have done an average game, and that turnover happened, we wouldn't be talking about the turnover 2 months later. So. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it.
No, I agree. I totally agree. When you're talking about the fans, like Darth Poole 79, he said, that's because they don't want to be hurt, quote unquote, hurt, tough guy fans, F them, which I agree with it. I mean, and like Chris, what you were talking about is there's fans that are not happy unless they're complaining, and once they find something to complain about, it's a dead horse. They beat it like a dead horse. Carson Wentz.
Now we're going to segue right. We'll segue right into the NFL training camp.
No. I mean, we'll get there, but I mean, that's a perfect example. I mean, it started with the Nick Foles factor, and then it went right into Jalen Hurts, who's apparently the new Tom Brady because he's got Carson Wentz out of town. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how some of the people think, and I just felt that they were shopping Tobias Harris just because it was a contract. It was a big contract. I think I heard today that if they were be able to move him, they were talking about trying to go after someone that if they were able to make that trade happen, that it would open up more space for them under the cap, and it would actually open up like another a max spot. Like you could replace the max spot while gaining an asset, like an actual Buddy Hield. They're talking about. It
had to be Buddy Hield.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone's ever seen that dude play. That dude is fast up the court.
Yeah,
I know he's on the West Coast, but he's fast.
Well, he's quick. De'Aaron Fox is the best.
That's it. Is De'Aaron Fox? Yeah,
De'Aaron Fox is fast. That's the guy you're probably talking about. Buddy Hield was the one who played at Oklahoma and was a really good shooter.
Yes.
And the Sixers fans, but he's a guy that they've been coveting since the draft. That was a guy that they really wanted. And before him, it was D'Angelo Russell. They really wanted D'Angelo Russell. He was a combo guard. We all know his story. He's a snitch now or whatever. But those were the 2 guys that were on their radar as far as for shooters and guards. So he's constantly been in trade talks. Now, if Buddy Hield might be a guy that says, hey, you know what, I don't want to play in Sacramento. I'm not going to re-sign here. Sacramento may say, hey, yeah, you know what, we'll take on Tobias Harris' contract. He's a good player. He's probably a better player than Buddy Hield. But we'll take him on and give you Buddy Hield. He'll fill a requirement or a need for you guys, and you'll be able to get rid of that contract and be able to bring somebody else in here to play the 3. That's going to be an upgrade from Tobias. So it would be a win all around. And then, the Sacramento would obviously have Tobias for a few more years till his contract expired. So it'd be a win for them, too. Because I think the first chance Hield gets to leave Sacramento, he's gone. So, at least this is a guy that you would have. He's a veteran. He's close to being an all-star, and you'd have him locked up for a few years. I think they'd be happy having Harris there and maybe trying to build around him. But I can't, again, small market. They have really no options in Sacramento. It sucks. That's just the pandemic in the NBA right now. It sucks.
Yeah, so I would say with that, we can lead into, obviously, NFL training camp started this week. And injuries are piling up. Like, it's obviously the big story that we all know about is Carson Wentz,
who's not even on the Eagles anymore, and he's still the biggest story
in Philadelphia. So, so this is where
the Eagles.
But it does. But as fans, like I could care less, because that draft pick, if it turns out to be what it was going to be a late first-round pick anyway. So it might as well be an early second-round pick. Like, the people were thinking that we were these 3 first-round picks and trade for Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson's not coming here, it's unless something happens where Jalen Hurts goes 0-17. Carson Wentz had a freak. He re-broke a foot in his bone. Like, I've done that. Like, I've actually re-broke my foot and not knowing I broke it. That's what he did. And then they're who is it? Their right guard, Quentin Nelson.
He got hurt today.
He got hurt. He got, like, what the hell's going on in Indianapolis? Did they not have, like, the hell's going on with their field? Like, you just got to be like, and listen, I don't know if anybody knows how good Quentin Nelson is. He's probably the best offensive lineman in the league, like, hands down. And I'll put him up against any offensive lineman on the Dallas Cowboys, the Tennessee Titans, all those big guys who run the ball a lot. Like, I'll put him up against any one of those top 10, those two lines right there. I think Quentin Nelson's better than him. Like, that's how good he won. He won, like, I think his rookie year, he won Offensive Player of the Week. How did an offensive lineman win that? like, what?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so we'll go into. We'll start with the training camp. Obviously, Devontae Smith got hurt, and then you go into Eric knows what I'm talking about. Is you go into these groups, these NFC East groups, or these NFL groups, and we talk about how Giants fans didn't want Devontae Smith. Don't feed that to me. Like,
they're liars.
And I'll tell you right now, I didn't engage any one of them. I just said it's comical how you guys act like you didn't want Devontae Smith. Like, you're gonna settle for Tony, who got hurt on the first play of minicamp. Like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Like you didn't want because he's 6 foot and 166 pounds. You know who else was skinny? Steve Smith.
No,
he was skinny.
Wasn't.
Like, there was.
Smith.
No. When he started, not later. Like, he got the muscle up, but I'm saying when he started, he was around that weight.
Smith.
I think Steve Smith was like 5'11" and 157 pounds when he got drafted. He was
Steve Smith when he was actually on the field playing.
No,
he was a built dude.
I'm saying when he got drafted. When he got drafted, he was like 5'11" and 157 pounds.
Wait, can you check what year he got drafted real fast?
Yeah,
was it 2002?
No, it was no. I'll look it up. But like don't tell me that Devontae Smith's not going to be good. Like, stop it.
I think I think everybody thinks that guy's going to be Tyreek Hill. That guy's not going to be Tyreek Hill.
There's only one Tyreek Hill.
Well, no, that's not even an apt comparison. He's not fast like that. People think that he's going to run away from people. His peak, and I'm talking about if he does everything right in this league, is Marvin Harrison. That's what he is.
That's what it was. That's who it was. I'm sorry, you're right. It was Marvin Harrison.
He's a skinnier guy. He's right around so he's 166 now. I think Marvin Harrison played at like 188, and was 6 foot tall, and he was a skinny guy, and he was a route runner, and he wasn't physical. That's his comparison.
That's
Steve
what.
Smith.
No,
Yeah,
Steve Smith. They were both good route runners, but you're absolutely right. I was wrong. It was
Steve
Marvin
Smith's the kind of
Harrison.
guy. I mean, he broke Ken Lucas's eye socket. Ken Lucas was a tough cornerback, and they got into it the 1 year training camp, and he punched him right in the face and broke his orbital bone. Steve Smith was a tough guy. He was a guy that could cross the middle, hit somebody, and then keep going. Tyreek Hill's the guy who's going to run with. Devonta Smith is not that, and you really need for those kind of guys to be successful. You need a specific type of quarterback. I don't know. It's like Jalen Hurts. I don't think is a quarterback that kind of jives with that type of player. I mean, a lot of what helps route runners is timing. Is he a timing guy? I mean, a lot of times he's breaking the pocket, he's running around. I don't know. And that's what I mean. It's like seeing it Grant down the line, and you go back with the first round pick. Think about it this way: if Jalen Hurts doesn't work out this year, all right, but the Eagles still have a decent record. Let's say they're at like 9, okay? And then everything worked out. We got the Eagles got the Colts pick. All right, say the Colts pick was somewhere around 18. If you were able to package 18, 9, and then move up to 4, you potentially get the quarterback that does now jive with Devonta Smith. Does have the timing, does have all that skill set that you can kind of pair. So that's where losing that pick could hurt, because I think if the Colts finish somewhere middle of the pack, if Wentz plays enough games and you got a middle of the pack first round draft pick, and the Eagles don't do well and you have a lower draft pick, you can package those 2 picks and move up and go get that quarterback.
No, that's true. I mean, you could do something like that. You're exactly right. And you also brought up a great thing, about his accuracy and basically inconsistency. That was written today by Jeff McClain, who covers the Eagles. He had a video, watching where they're doing little 10-yard out routes, and he's throwing behind the receiver, and he's trying to turn around and catch it over the wrong shoulder, turning around. And that's really the only knock that Jalen Hurts has really had in his career, was his accuracy. It's not really so much the arm strength. He does have it when the guys are wide open, and he's got time to set and throw, but he's always had the accuracy and inconsistency issue, which is still showing. But then again, I'm being a little lenient with it because, yeah, he practiced all last year during the season, but he only got 4 games to start. Now this is his first full training camp, first full preseason as a legit starter for a team.
Yeah.
So it's something that he could work with. It's something he could build on, with the coaching staff. And that's the other thing. Now he's got all rookie coaches, rookie coaching staff. All these guys are the first time they're on a staff like this, but he's still so there's a lot of people getting to know each other, trying to figure out who Jalen Hurts is. He's trying to figure out who these coaches are. So he may have his ups and downs this year, and we'll see what happens. But even if they, okay, go ahead.
No, keep going. No,
I'm done.
Keep talking about the so I just want to get back to the Devonta Smith thing. All right, so Devonta Smith's 166 pounds, soaking wet. So when Marvin Harrison was drafted, he was 6 foot, 180 pounds. Steve Smith was 5'9" and 175 pounds. Now the only thing is Marvin Harrison was, I don't know if people realize, Marvin Harrison was 24 years old when he got drafted.
Yeah, he was older.
He was older.
He played all 4 years. Steve Smith was 23 when he got drafted. So
he played JUCO with Ocho Cinco before he went to college.
Yes.
Yeah.
So so before these Giants fans or these Eagles fans who just don't like Jalen Hurts because they're still Carson Wentz guys, and they're a little angry with the Devonta Smith thing, which I don't understand why. He's going to build up the weight. He's 21 years old. He's 21. So he's still got 3 years to catch up to the weight that Marvin Harrison was. He's still got 2 years to catch up to the weight that Steve Smith was. The problem with Steve Smith is he was 5'9", he was 175 pounds, and it was all muscle. There was no ounce of body fat.
It was solid.
He was crazy. He was insane, and he played like that in the field at all times. And I loved it. I didn't like him in 2003 when he beat the Eagles, but like that's the kind of guy you want on your team. So the he's skinny, he's this, he's that. He's 21 years old. Like he runs good routes. He's the type of player like if you watch the championship game when he went off in the first half, when he knew he was going to get hit, he stepped out of bounds. That's what all receivers do now anyway. I think so. Like, so to the Giants fans, if you're going to be watching, I know Eric, you're going to put this on NFL First Down to the Anges, all that. Like, don't tell me you want Tony from Miami or Florida State, whoever it was, over Devontae Smith. Because if that's who you want it, you're a goddamn moron. Plain and simple.
Oh no, they will tell you. They'll tell you that they wanted the offensive lineman, and that Devontae Smith was never on their board, even though everybody knows the Giants wanted Devontae Smith.
Everybody.
But the fans will dumb it down and say, no, they wanted, I believe it was Rashawn Slater. They wanted him. And I'm like, you weren't getting him unless you'd moved up, and they weren't willing to move up.
Right.
So
and they'll sit there and say, well, you're just, you're watching videos on YouTube and everything else. Like, well, you know what? Like,
so were you.
What? Like, so, but you know what? Like, and I'm not tooting our horn because we're a goddamn local podcast, but we read. Like you read everything. Like it's not like we've read just Jeff McClain's articles. Like we looked at this stuff because we were invested in this year. How bad the Eagles were, all the draft picks they had, all the trades that Howie made. Is we paid attention. We didn't want the Cowboys to get a corner or an offensive lineman. We didn't want the Giants to jump up ahead of us and get Devontae Smith. And I'll give the Giants credit. Like they made a great trade that day. Like when they couldn't get him and they traded out and they got like the 18th pick and like the 26th pick, which was ridiculous.
They got a great haul
to move up 6 spots. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting into a debate with a Giants fan who's going to sit there and tell me that they didn't want Devontae Smith. Because if I'm Daniel Jones, I want Devontae Smith, who I think is going to be the worst quarterback in the NFC East. And that's saying a lot because I don't have that much faith in Hurts. Still going to root for him. But I don't think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I just don't. Like, there's nothing he's done. Oh, good, he ran an 80-yard touchdown and he tripped over his own feet. Like, I just don't have the faith. Giants fans can't have faith in him. It's like Mitchell Trubisky all over again.
They will defend him to the death.
Well, just from like I said, this is an outsider's perspective. Giants were the best team probably after week 7 last year. Week 6 was the best team in the NFC East. They were better than the Washington football team. They were better than the Eagles. And they were certainly better than the Cowboys without, Dak Prescott. I don't think that'll be the case this year. I think the Cowboys kind of rebound a little bit, but Giants overall, I thought were probably the best team. I thought they improved a lot, and they did it with losing probably their best offensive player week 2 of last year. So I wouldn't write the Giants off and say the Giants are going to have a bad year. And I got no love for the Giants. Giants beat my team crushing defeats twice in the Super Bowl. I got no love for that team at all, but I wouldn't write them off. I think they're going to have actually a pretty good year. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to light the world on fire, but I think that team's going to win some games this year, and they are going to challenge the Cowboys for that first place in the NFC East.
Oh, I completely disagree with you. I think the Giants are not going to be good. I think the Cowboys are going to be average, and I think this is, as much as it pains me to say it, it is the Washington football team's division to lose. Their defense is too good. The only reason they'll lose is because of Ryan Fitzpatrick. They got stud receivers. They got a stud running back. They have no quarterback, but I think their defense is going to keep them in so many games, and Fitzpatrick will win you games. He'll lose you games. Their defense is probably a top 3. Like
their defensive line is nasty, and I'll give you that. And Eric, you were probably just going to say that, right?
Yeah, none of their guys on the defensive line are over the age of 24.
Yeah,
like they're
they're all SEC players.
Yes.
like Washington went in with what I say for the Eagles to do every year: draft every SEC defensive player and every SEC offensive line player. I say that and a wide receiver from Alabama. I say that every year, and that's what they did. And I like it's not that I hate Washington. I hate the Giants and I hate the Cowboys the most. I think the Cowboys and Washington are going to be neck and neck, and I think the Giants and the Eagles are going to be probably fighting for the worst pick in the league. I have zero. I don't care about Saquon Barkley. I don't care about him. He's now injury. You can't tell me he can't be known as an injury prone player now. If Carson Wentz is injury prone, so is Saquon Barkley. Like it's 2 years that he's gotten hurt. So I just don't. I think Daniel Jones is that bad a quarterback. And I don't know if anyone saw the tweets today at Giants camp. There was a brawl. Joe Judge went off, which is cool, but points are being made. Like that's a way to lose the locker room. Like this isn't the 70s. This isn't the 80s. This isn't the 90s, where you go out there, you get yelled at, you get it. Like you don't do that now. Like it's just the way the game is. Doesn't make it right, but you don't go out and you just don't yell at these players and curse at these players. You know what, you messed up. This is what you pull them, you grab them to the side, and you say you got to do this. You don't curse at the whole team. Again, it's my opinion, but you don't sit there and you don't curse at the whole team. Like relax, Joe Judge. You're not Bill Parcells. You're not Bill Belichick. Stop trying to be like them. Stop it right now.
My take on the Washington football team is that there's been inklings from Ron Rivera and from the organization that things aren't fine and dandy, like always, with Daniel Snyder. Big shock. You have a very young team, as Eric pointed out. You had a team that is coming off of tasting a little bit of success last year. I just think that when young guys are in a locker room, they've had a little bit of success. I think they get a little satisfied with themselves, and I think that they have a setback year. And coupled with the fact that the ownership and really the leadership up top is very weak, and now we're starting to see the coach alluding to things not being so great there. I think that organization is going to be one of those supremely talented teams that completely underperforms. That's what I see out of Washington.
All right, so here's what I'll say. So if we're gonna we'll do evaluation by coaches. So I'm thinking if I'm going by coaching, I'm going Rivera 1. We'll go Joe Judge 2, and we'll go Mike McCarthy 3 because I don't think Mike McCarthy is a good coach. I could be 100% wrong.
He blows. He caught lightning in a bottle that year when the Super
Bowl. Fair enough.
I'll go with that.
But yeah, and Nick Sirianni, and the only reason Sirianni is fourth is because we don't know what we're getting with him. Yeah, well, we got Rivera. Joe Judge is going to pull some tricks out of his out there, and I listen. I'm all for it. They should have beat the Giants last year, but they lined up all sides on that fake kick. Like the Giants had a lot of potential. I really think if the Giants go out, and if they, I don't think they will, but if they went out and they traded for Deshaun Watson, they would probably be one of the best teams in the league. And that's coming from me, who I just said, if German's still watching, I just said that the Eagles and the Giants are going to be the bottom dwellers. Now, if they went and out got Deshaun Watson, they would be the best team in the league, or the best team in the East, not in the league. That would be that. That would be me. So what's he going to say? Nah, not yet, John. We haven't got there yet. He wants to talk about the Phillies, but
can we not?
But no. So if the Eagles or the Giants went out, if the Giants are legitimately a quarterback away, like if the Giants or the Redskins, whatever, if they went out and got Deshaun Watson, it would be curtains for either team for the NFC East. Again, that's just my opinion, because the Giants are coming around on defense, like you said, like you alluded to earlier, Pat. After week 7, they were one of the better teams. Well, that's because their defense played. Their defense,
exactly,
and they were getting that run. They were somewhat getting that running game with Gallman, but now you have Saquon Barkley. If he can stay healthy, he'll be a top 10 running back.
Yeah,
I still think if I'm Nick Sirianni and this is me, I'm going back to the old way with how Bill Cowher used to run the Steelers. You run on first, you run on second. Jalen, it's 3rd and 3. You either got to hit the tight end or you got to give me a little 3-yard run. That's how the Eagles can be successful this year. Run the ball. You got to keep you got to keep the defense on the field. Like that's that's everything. You got to keep the defense on the field. Unfortunately, with a front four like Washington, with a front four like the Giants, that's not going to work. The Eagles, Eagles could very well get swept by those two teams. I just don't. I don't think Dallas is built. I don't think Dallas is built. What's that?
I think running the ball would help them against Washington. Washington's defensive line is more of a stopping the pass type of. They're the ones who get upfield. If you can block them down, or if you can get a pulling guard to come by and hit that edge.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If they can, it's a matter of hitting that Chase Young off the edge. It's a matter of hitting, that the Pains and all that. It's just a matter of that hitting.
Chase Young's a great pass rusher, and he's good in run protection, but he's not great in run protection. So that's how you beat a team like that. A team that's fast. You saw it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they had Simeon Rice. Simeon Rice was great at getting the quarterback. He was fast, but man, you could block him right out of a play.
Well, it's like Jason Babin. Just like Jason Babin when he was in the Eagles. He had 18 sacks, but he had 30 tackles for the year.
Yeah.
But no, like German's right. He's like they improved. Slayton was a good player last year. But they went and they got Kenny Galladay. He's had a rough training camp so far. Again, training camp means dick in my opinion. I don't care how bad of a training camp you have. It's what you do in week one. I don't count preseason unless you look absolutely terrible. But they went out, they got Galladay. Like the Giants made some good signings. Again, they still have Evan Engram. I don't know what that's going to do for them. But the Giants again. I still think the Giants are third in the division. But it's also saying how the Eagles should control the ball. So I still think it's Washington, Dallas, Giants, and Eagles. And everyone knows me; I'm an Eagles guy, but I'm gonna call it like I say it. Like it's, I don't think they're going 3-14 like USA Today said they were, but it's not looking prominent.
I think they'll win 6 games. I think it'll be 6-11.
So, yeah, well, he did damage to my quarterback, German. I still remember the game 1. So, and he chased down Jalen Hurts in week 17. That's why we pulled Jalen Hurts. for as much as the Giants almost won the division. But no, you're right. He got a little contained, but he's still good. Like Chase Young's still a great player.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he really is. And their defense ultimately wins. So that's why I still put Washington pretty high up there. That's why I don't believe in Dallas, because that defense is atrocious.
They didn't do anything. They didn't do that. Like, and CeeDee Lamb I don't know if anyone saw the highlights today. CeeDee Lamb made a great catch. The corner was on him. It was great coverage. The corner never turned around.
Never.
You got to turn. You got to turn around.
You got to turn your head. You got to turn your head, because that'll be a flag every single time down the field. Whether
doesn't matter. He caught the ball for a touchdown. Didn't matter at that point.
It wasn't a touchdown.
No, it was.
No, it wasn't. It was practice.
Oh, shut up. Shut your goddamn mouth. So now, if John's still watching, we'll lead in with Phillies talk.
Yay.
So obviously, there was a lot of trades. There was I don't know if they were just holding in from not making trades last year during COVID or what, but there was this trades galore made. And I think the Phillies made the right moves. I mean, obviously, the Mets went out and got Javier Baez for a 1 year for a 60 game rental.
Yeah.
Yankees went out and got Rizzo for a rental, and the Giants went out and got them for rental. Now, I was doing my podcast last night, Diamond Club, and there's a good chance that all those 3 players could sign back with the Cubs. How awesome would that be?
That would be something else. I would.
Or they're going to sign with the Dodgers.
I'm muting.
Oh boy. German must be a Yankees fan. Yeah, dude. Mike Stanton. He's so up and down. But no, like the Phillies, man, like they made some moves. They have a good chance. Like they're not going to get the wild card. The wild card's going to come out of the West. Like 2 wild cards. Like I don't know if anyone's seen the Gabe Kapler's signed for 30 games over 500. We know what the Dodgers are. We know what the Padres are. Those three teams are making the playoffs. The Phillies are 53 and 53. Is it hard? So it's 106 teams left, 56 teams. It's not that hard to go 36 and 20 with this team. So much potential. I don't know what anyone else wants to talk about, but I mean, you guys are like cringing as I sit there and talk about the Phillies.
I got nothing with the Phillies. I really don't. I mean, I don't know. The moves that they made, I honestly feel will help them. Okay, you couldn't put Velasquez out there one more start. You couldn't. You just couldn't. Like if that guy was out there, he would have gotten the JD Drew treatment. There's no way you could have thrown him back out there. And that would have been if his next start was away. There somehow would have been C-sized batteries getting flung at him, with shades of a snowball at Santa. So I mean you couldn't put him back out there. So the Kyle Gibson move, I was like, you know what? It's not the greatest, but for this team, that's a great move.
The little stat about Kyle Gibson, he's been in the top 3 in innings pitched the last 7 seasons.
That's amazing.
And with the way our bullpen is,
that's huge.
Now the only thing is the one thing that I always rip on Joe Girardi is I think he's terrible handling this pitching staff and the bullpen. He's dealt a rough hand with the lineup because it is what it is. And he's got to put out what he's got. But the way he handles the bullpen, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either. And the more and more that he makes decisions with the bullpen and the starting pitchers, the more it really turns me against him. Like I was happy when they got him because I thought, okay, I know you did, but I mean, I was happy. I was like, okay, this is pretty good, but let's see what he does. And he starts to let the analytics drive him in his decision making. And it's baseball, damn it. It's not about analytics. Just go out there and play baseball. This is the one sport out of the 4 major sports that you should never consider changing up how you coach or manage the players during a game. Regardless of...
You're 100% right.
Regardless of the DH rule that may come into effect for the National League next year, regardless of that stuff, regardless of changing the All-Star game around to where it matters who wins, no, like, I just want baseball to be baseball. It was always the purest game on earth. Keep it that way. Keep it that way.
So, and that's... We sit there and say that Joe Girardi tries to be analytical, and he's not good at it.
He's not.
And the way the Phillies team is built, my co-host John, who's a huge baseball guy, he'll sit there and say the Phillies aren't built analytically, which very well could be right. Yeah. This is the team, right? How it's constructed right now with the analytics. This is a Gabe Kapler team. You can't tell me that Gabe Kapler's 30 games over 500 by mistake.
Yeah, no.
I get, you know what? German's absolutely right. He's like, all you see is home runs and strikeouts. There's no moving the running over, and he's absolutely right. Like if you look at the average batting, it's like 240. That's a disgrace for baseball.
What happened to the art of the bunt? What happened to it? That's an art. When you can bunt a ball to move a runner over, and if you're quick enough to get on base, that's an art form. The slap hit. What happened to that? You didn't see that. You don't see that ever anymore.
Mike Missinelli says that fans don't want to see that stuff. I don't know. It sounds like all three of us want to see it. I would love to see that come back.
It sounds like German is all for it because it's all home runs.
That's baseball. That's what we grew up playing. Not every kid in your lineup hit home runs or triples or doubles, but everybody contributed to the win because they got on base. It's baseball at a young kid's level. The same way you score there is the same way you can be successful in the pros. People say, well, small ball doesn't win. Small ball won. Small ball's won in the past. The biggest example of the last 20 years was the Marlins. the 03 Marlins, and it was Kansas City after that. It was good bullpen pitching, it was good starting pitching, and it was them moving runners around. That's what it was.
Well, why you're right, but let's not. Let's also remember that when the Phillies won the World Series, I want to say it was Jeff Jenkins who got on second on that leadoff.
It was, leadoff double was Jeff Jenkins.
And then what did Jimmy Rollins do?
Popped up, right?
No, he bunted him third.
Oh, he bunted him third, yeah.
Like our MVP bunted him the third.
Yep.
With no that what didn't end up being the winning run. I don't think it was. No, but because Rocco Baldelli. But think about that. But that was a go-ahead run. That take away what happened in the later innings. But the MVP of the National League the year before bunted him over instead of trying to go for that hit. That wall. Yep. That big home run. He sacrificed him and put the guy at third with one out. I don't know what that's what wins games.
Think of how many wins that year people like Eric Bruntlett.
You're absolutely right, German. Eric Bruntlett got two. Eric Bruntlett got two. He scored the winning run in 2 games.
Yeah, and it's just him doing little things that make a baseball player better, and we're just coming in defensively playing or pitch hitting during those runs. I mean, that was important to that run for those teams. Those guys helping out. It's just I don't know. And Eric Bruntlett was a classic example. I mean, he was a utility guy. He could play anywhere in the infield, and he was a slap hitter. He wasn't a home run hitter, but when he delivered when he needed to. When they said that, hey, we need a guy to go in and pinch run here, he did it. We need a guy to come in here and get a single. He did it. That's like an old lost art now, and I don't understand. It was so much a part of baseball for years. I mean, look at a guy like, you think of Hall of Famers, you think Ozzie Smith. Was Ozzie Smith hitting 30, 40 home runs a year? Heck no. He's barely hitting 300, and he was a slap hitter. But everybody remembers him as being one of the greatest shortstops in history because of his defense. But everybody now that's playing shortstop, they need guys that are hitting 35, 40 home runs. And they're batting 240, 250. That's acceptable. I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know why they thought changing the game would be great. I really don't. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. They want more home runs. They want that excitement, the ooh and ah. They want more of the Sosa McGuire home run battle to put butts in the seats. I understand. They like the long ball. They love it, but you're now taking away from the game. You're taking away from what got the game to be so great. I mean, you do it authentically. You do it naturally in baseball, just like Mantle and Maris did in '61. The two of the Yankees' greatest, and they were battling back and forth for that home run record. And it was organic. That was real. That was just these guys who were after games were smoking and drinking in the locker room, talking to the media, smoking in the dugout. None of this garbage that's going on today. None of this stuff where they're using trash cans to cheat. Nothing like that. It's don't give me that face, Ginger. I'll smack it off you. So I don't know. There's too much playing around with the game, and I don't like it at all. Chris, you froze. There you are. You're back.
JT Realmuto just hit a home run.
Oh, well, that's good because I'm still looking at 1-0 Phillies. So we're delayed. So thank you for the spoiler alert. Now I can shut the game off.
Oh yeah, shut your mouth. So, but no, you're right. Like German's right. Runners on base put pressures on pitcher. You can force a pitcher into a bad pitch, into a balk. Crazy things can happen. You just got to get on base.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just get on base and do the fundamental part of baseball. Let it take over from there. I mean, I do like that we are seeing a lot of pitcher and batter battles now. Like you see a lot of 3-2 counts, and it's awesome. But I want more. I do. I just 100% want more. I don't like how the game is turned into or what it's turned into. So it is what it is. But Oh man. So
So I think that's basically. I mean, the one guy talked about earlier about talking hockey. Well, you guys did hockey last week, so we're not going to do that.
oh yeah, we did an entire show on hockey last week. Sorry about that, whoever you are. I'm sorry.
Mike, no, he got mad.
Oh, I think you know him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if he tuned in last week, he would have had a great time because that's all we talked about with Frank Steskel.
He can still catch that if he goes to cevsports.com. Did you hear last week's podcast?
Yes, he can. We have the link right up there on the show page, and it takes you right to our Apple Podcast page.
So, you guys got anything else?
But all right, so I guess that's it, fellas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hold on. We're gonna just throw a couple.
Nah,
things
I'm good
out,
for the night.
Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna
good.
throw a couple
Just
things out.
Do our little talk after we get off there. What's that?
Torias just hit a 2-run home run. You're frozen. He looks high right now, and I know he can't hear. He looks high as a kite. I hope it's not like that on the other side. But all right, thanks to everyone who commented. Catch me on Thursday at 5:30 on the Tendies on Patterson, talking Flyers hockey. And we'll be back next week discussing, hopefully no more injuries in training camp, and then I will. Me and Eric are going to be on a podcast on Friday. I'm actually going to reach out to you, Pat, about doing a podcast with someone else because we're covering the East. So I think they're going to be doing the AFC East in the upcoming week. So I'll reach out to you about that. But
absolutely,
I'm ending this. Thanks, German. Thanks everyone for listening, and peace out. There.